Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Wednesday to everybody. What a spectacular day in Decatur. It's funny, Javon and Tatiana were in here setting up the weather extra for me, and they're very intrigued by the WAFF that keeps flying around the camera in Decatur. Yeah, it keeps flying around. Of course, now that I bring up the camera and start the weather extra, the WASP is no longer to be found. But yeah, that happens on a lot of our cameras this time of year. Start seeing wasps flying around. It's still warm during the day, cold nights sometimes. This morning wasn't too bad. We were generally in the 40s. There were a few 50s this morning too. Big change from the last couple of mornings when it was a little bit chillier out there. There's the wasp. It's coming back. But some big changes in the forecast headed our way. Not for today, not for tomorrow. Not really for Friday and Saturday, but not until really Sunday do we start seeing temperatures drop, and that's going to be the big change that everyone's talking about. There's two waves of colder air coming in. The first will be on, well, you'll feel it on Sunday, and the second will be a reinforcing shot of even colder air for Monday. And it's going to get real chilly really fast. We're going to go from like 70s to like a winter 43 or 44 by Monday. And it's only temporary. So a lot of people are like, wow, the change is coming. We're going to be cold. Winters here. Pump the brakes on that. It gets really warm on the backside of the 10-day forecast. So we're up here now. We're going to drop way down here by Monday. And then we're going to go right back up again as we go into the following week. So some of the forecast models hinting at some mid to upper 70s on the 10-day forecast towards the tail end of it. So the dip is only for about a day or two, and I'll talk about that now coming up. But there's our wasps. They're going a little crazy now. I knew they were there. They had to make a TV appearance. There they are. But look at the sunshine indicator. Look how calm the water is right now. I figured there'd be a little bit more of a breeze out of the southwest, but right now, not so bad. I do think the breeze will pick up a bit here in the afternoon when the temperatures get up above 70. But gust about 15, 20 miles an hour. Temperatures are in the 60s for everybody right now. I still think we got some 70s in us before the day's out. Of course, keep in mind the sun does set before 5 p.m., so therefore you don't have as much sunshine in the afternoon, so you hit your high temperature a little bit earlier this time of year. And I do think we'll pop some 70s when we're on air for the noon show. I imagine there'll be some 70s mixed in. If you have a chance and you're going to be out this evening, the skies will stay clear. And that super moon, which has been just lighting everything up the last couple of days, it's technically a super moon tonight, but it's been so bright the last couple of nights. It just illuminates everything in the backyard last night. I was out taking the dogs out. I didn't even need a flashlight. It was so bright. But that will look beautiful through the evening hours. The one thing we got to keep an eye on tonight is a little patchy fog that could be locally dense for the morning commute tomorrow. So here's your wind speeds. Again, didn't look like much wind in Decatur, but we could have an occasional gust this afternoon, 15 to 20. The SW is probably the most important part of that graphic. It means that the winds are out of the southwest, which is a warming wind. Much of the U.S. right now, not bad. A lot of green, a lot of yellow. Lurking off to the northwest, you see some blue and you see some 30s way up there in Montana and North Dakota. That's like layer number one of cold air. And then the second layer of colder air is way up in Canada, and that will spill south, and it's going to bring some very chilly temperatures to the central and eastern U.S. for early next week. A lot of times when we have this transition from very warm in November to very cold, it can be marked by some thunderstorms, and we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast. Not so much for today or tomorrow, but Friday. That will be the first front that pops through. And that will be the chance when we have the potential for the strongest of storms. The timing of it looks a little bit later in the day now. Temperatures are in the 70s before that front gets there. So we got 70s today, 70s tomorrow, 70 on Friday, just depending on how much cloud cover builds in. But I do think we'll hit 70. Got to keep an eye out for those storms in the evening on Friday. Some of them could pack a punch with heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. Once that front clears the area, it looks like most of the rain on Saturday will stay south of us, but might have to add a few showers in for Saturday night because there's another front that has to go through. And that's when you start feeling the change in the temperature. And I'll pop the 10-day up so you can see it a little bit better. The first wave of coolness comes on Sunday, and it will be when your temperature in the morning on Sunday is around 50, and then it just doesn't move. It's like 55, 56 for the high. Winds will kick up out of the northwest, and it will be a breezy, and it will feel even colder, especially if we don't get into some sunshine. I do think we will, but it'll be a big change after back-to-back 70-degree days, even with some storms on Friday. But the drop of the hammer comes Sunday night into Monday. 30 for the low, 44 for the high, and then a 26 Monday night into Tuesday, and it will be a very chilly Veterans Day, which means it will probably be a pretty chilly evening for the parade as well. Added a 10% chance for some flurries on Monday. That's the one thing everybody sees, but with the flurries chance being so little, it's probably a better idea to focus on just how cold it's going to be for that one day. And 44 for the high. You get to January or February, it's not bad. But when it comes on the heels of a whole bunch of 70-degree days, it will be a shocker for sure. And then on the back end of the 10-day, erase that cold air real fast. And by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're back in the 60s to near 70, which is where we should be for this time of year. And all of a sudden, cold's out, typical temperatures are back in. So up here with the temperature now, down here by Monday, back up again the next week. And the transition day will be multiple days where we drop the temperatures, but the Friday is the one we're concerned about for some stronger storms. Right now, it doesn't look like a widespread severe weather outbreak or anything like that. It just looks like some of the storms could pack a punch with some heavy rain and some gusty winds, and we'll monitor that, of course, as we get towards the end of the week and closer to Friday. Oh, wow. Hi, everybody. I usually don't. I didn't look at the comments today. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. I got your text, and I hope the project went well. You know, lemonade and science were my two answers. Pretty cool stuff. Hi, Tamara. Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while. It's getting to be that hot cocoa season. Yes, it is. I had some this morning. It was definitely a little hot cocoa weather lately. Maybe not in the afternoons, but certainly in the mornings. It will be definitely one next week on Monday. Sarah says, yikes, I think they came out during the warmer weather. We get lots of ladybugs and some wasps flying around in our backyard. Yeah, you know, this time of year, those chilly nights and those warm days, I was outside yesterday doing some work in the house, outside. I mowed the lawn, and little wasps flying around everywhere. You know, and I'm out there just trying to spray a few of them because I don't want the dogs my dogs will see them and they try to bite them. And yeah, that's not good. Don't want to bite any wasps. Not a very good thing. I think there is, Sarah. Every year on the weather cameras this time of year, I was telling Tatiana and Javon, we get, I think they build a little nest there. The Decatur camera and then our rocket camera, which has been out of service since July because of a lightning strike. That one usually has some kind of wasp growing there, like a wasp nest, and they live there and they fly around a lot. The Madison camera gets it sometimes on top of the building there. And I think Gunnersville camera last year had a little wasp nest too. So yeah, it's entertaining when you're like sitting here in between shows and you just want to watch the wasps. You're good to go. So. Oh, Tamara, thank you. I don't wear them often and I need to wear them more. Unfortunately, it's getting to the point for my eyesight where like even when I'm on Weather Extra, I can't see the graphics. So it's getting worse. So I have to wear my readers a bit more. I've been getting some headaches because I don't wear them enough. So I probably will never wear them on air because I can't stand wearing glasses on air, but I might wear them a little bit more for the weather extras and stuff so I can see the graphics when I'm talking to you. It always helps when I can actually see the numbers that I'm talking about, right? It's all good. Tamara, Sarah. Oh, you could send me his final survey. How many people did he talk to about that? I mean, I saw a lot of little check marks and stuff, but pretty cool. And I hope the information I gave you about the other question that you asked me was helpful. And if you have any other questions or have any other weather observation thingies, I don't want to give it away if he's watching. Just let me know and text me, and I'll answer your questions for you. It's no problem. Oh, you're going to get, Tamara, your hot cocoa last year, we brought it in, and I had most of it, but I left some out for everyone to try, and it was gone in like 2 days. Like it was devoured. So everybody liked it a lot. It was really good. Tamara made homemade hot cocoa for us, like powder form, and she brought these big tubs of it in. And I took a tub for myself, and I left a little bit behind for everybody else here, and it was gone in like 2 days. Maybe 3 tops. Hi, Daniel. Good to see you on. How'd that project go? How many people did you interview? You interviewed a lot, right? I'm sure you did. 10 days up there for those of you just coming on. And obviously, as I was mentioning, the beginning of the weather extra hit, big change, huge change coming. A lot of times in November, you can get these like wild swings in the temperature. It's not unheard of, where you can go feeling one way to the other. And everywhere in the United States that affects, everyone thinks it only happens in that one location, but it happens really just about everywhere that has the front move through. So anywhere from essentially North Dakota to Florida and areas east will feel like, wow, they changed seasons like that, and then they change back to seasons like that. And then a whole bunch of comments on social media will come up. And I live in a place where the weather can change every 5 minutes. And that's just the way the weather works. A lot of times when you have a strong cold front like this, it can bring some dramatic changes. And that's what's going to take place as we go into Sunday and then again on Monday. It's like lowering the temperatures just a bit more. Hi, Dio from PC. Always a pleasure to see you on, Donna Oliver. I saw your hello this morning on Facebook, and I appreciate that. I hope all is well. Hope you enjoy some sunshine today. Sarah says, lots of family and friends. And Tamara, I think you're the best. So that's very cool. I appreciate that. But any questions about the forecast? I think the one thing that I would probably take away from Weather Extra is enjoy the moment, enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow. There's no big changes happening. Instead of looking towards Monday and being very depressed or sad about how cold it's going to be, if you don't like that, enjoy today and tomorrow, and enjoy Friday until the storms come. But obviously, stay tuned to what could happen on Friday with the storms. Right now, again, it looks like a wind and rainmaker, probably more towards the evening. The timing gets pushed, seems like a little bit later and later with each forecast run. And Saturday kept it mainly dry, but I still think there's going to be a few showers at night before we transition to that first layer of chilly, and then a few flurries Monday morning, transitioning to the next round of cold. It's like two different layers. The flurries on Monday, it gets everyone's attention, and I'm sure it's what I told Eric when he said it on air this morning. I'm like, that's all they're going to remember. They don't remember anything else. But the flurries look like they'd be confined to far northeastern Alabama, like the corner of northeast Alabama, and maybe like Franklin County in Tennessee. Now, if your travels take you to like Knoxville, or maybe even the mountains of Georgia, that might be a little bit different. But for us, it looks like it's mainly just the cold temperatures. And then Tuesday and the moderating that I talked about. Seems like every Veterans Day parade I've been part of since I've been here, and this will be my third, I think, maybe fourth. It seems like no matter how warm it is prior to Veterans Day and after, we always find a way to make it cold for the parade. It was chilly last year. I remember having like gloves on. I was hitting high five with people running down the street, and we were hitting gloves. I remember that. So I remember it being kind of chilly last year too. So Sarah says, when are tornadoes most likely to happen during the winter months? That's a great question. Our typical severe season is obviously March and April, and it seems like it's even later into May now and even into early June. But really any time in the winter you can have, if the setup is there, you can have severe weather and tornadoes. I mean, there's a history of tornadic activity in the Tennessee Valley in November, December, January, and February. And I've been here for 3 years, and I think we've had a tornado in every single one of those months, at least somewhere across the Tennessee Valley. So, I mean, like the first 2 months I was here, I came here in November 2022, and then January, I think it was 6, 2023, we had the tornado in the morning that touched down in Lawrence County near Moulton. And then later that afternoon, we had another tornado in Pisgah, and that was January 6th. So I don't think there's any rule or defined month that it starts to get more prevalent, but I think anytime you have air mass clashes and you get a little bit of spin, and you can pop some tornadoes really any month, November, December, January, February. That's the one thing about the Tennessee Valley is there's some areas in the U.S. it seems like it favors like a particular time frame of the year, but here it's really an all year round potential severe weather threat that gets more exaggerated and more heightened in parts of like March and April and May. But any time that the conditions are right in the Tennessee Valley, which unfortunately can be favorable many times during the course of the year, you can have some severe weather. That certainly can happen in the winter months. All right, I'm going to bust a move and get ready for TVL at 11. And then noon comes on with Gina Benitez. We'll have more on the top news stories of the day, recap anything, and just some of the stories that were maybe from yesterday that have some updates. And we'll be on at noon till 1 p.m. for that. Everybody, remember that changes don't take place until the weekend. You got to watch out for those storms Friday. But enjoy the afternoon. Enjoy tomorrow. Looks good. And much of Friday morning will be fine. It's more towards the afternoon when things start to go downhill. So everybody have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon.